Paladin's Notes on Starship Troopers, Chapter 2. This is my second favorite chapter in the whole book. It's got a lot to say. It's actually the one that I find the most personal, the one that I can most personally identify with. And I believe it's also the one that anyone who's ever volunteered to join the military, Coast Guard, or law enforcement would be able to identify too. When you're coming out of high school, and some of us, when we're going through high school, our path is somewhat set. At the beginning of it, a lot of freshmen know, hey, I get out of here, I'm going in the service, or hey, I get out of here, I'm going to the police academy. And you kind of know all 4 years. In my particular case, being in junior ROTC, it was kind of the path. It was putting me on a pipeline to go into the service. You know, they give us the basic training, memorizing general orders, orders of march, things like that. Basic principles of leadership. But this isn't about me. This is about Rico and Carl and Carmen in the future world. A future world that is very different than our own, where citizenship is something that is earned through this particular service. Because, as his instructor points out, things that have value, violence is power. I really encourage you to go ahead and check it out, and then if you haven't listened to it before listening to my notes, if you do, it'll make more sense. His teacher from high school will come into play later on in the chapters to come. I don't want to have a spoiler alert, but it partly, no, I take it back. It's not even a spoiler alert. So when Rico and Carl go down to recruiting, they all split off, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but to make like a spoiler, Rico ends up getting a little bit of a different treatment because of that particular instructor. Now, going back, before Rico even gets to there, the conversation that he had with his dad really reminds me of my own situation at home. When you're 17 or 18 years old and you sit down in your living room or kitchen with the recruiter, and you're having that discussion with your parents, and you're talking about some pretty serious stuff that as a child still you have no comprehension, but your parents know all too well, as they look at you and realize, you have to excuse me, and realize there is a greater sacrifice that can be made than your own life for your country or for your nation. And that's the sacrifice of your children. I can't express it. I can't express it into words, and I can't tell you what it's like if you haven't been through it. A video or two back, you might have seen me losing my shit to DJ Grooveline WCAM Studios. I would really discourage anybody from following his videos that he has on economics or anything for that matter. I don't think what he provides is helpful, in my opinion. I know he's got a pretty good following. There's actually a video of a guy kind of cock riding him over all that stuff, but whatever, I digress. But this is to let you know why I'm upset. So I'm of an age where those of us that had kids relatively early, they're getting to be around military age, or they've been in military age the last few years. So, I mean, When you're talking about who's volunteering for the service, you're talking about my kids. You're talking about my friends' kids, people I love, and the sacrifices we believe we're making. So it gets personal. It gets personal pretty quick. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong when you think about things like that, but I don't know. An inch of respect for the reason that people raise their hand would be appreciated. You know, you got gold star families that watch these YouTube videos. There should be respect for that. And if you don't know what a gold star family is, then that's fine too. You have that right. And as a result, I don't expect you to understand what respect would be. So Rico goes to the recruiting office, and Carl goes and Carmen goes, and they split them all off. And just like the movie, they all end up getting different jobs. Carl's a very smart person. Rico's more of a physical guy. I think Tex would want me to mention there's a very interesting side read between the line things in this book that was written in the 50s. The relationship with Carl and Rico is very, very close, and it's very, very intimate. And I believe the reader is given freedom to make of that relationship what you will. They look at Carmen sort of tangentially, and then there's something to be said about Carmen and the objectifying of females. And again, going back to what I said in chapter 1 about what science fiction has to teach us. So those are my notes for chapter 2. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Video responses are welcome. This episode was somewhat close to the movie. There's more to it, certainly more to it. We could really go on with the people that interview Rico and Carl on the end processing. We could go on and on about how they're giving them every opportunity to not join, really laying it out there. So they're doing what they can to have these young people go into the situation with open eyes. All right, enjoy, and let me know what you think. Catch you on the next chapter.